Good morning, beautiful fish lovers. In my last episode, I dared you to dream big. Big, massive. And then I proceeded to give you lots of irrelevant information about my Rico's Nano Tank Challenge. Today, I promise, we're gonna get to the unboxing of the Maxspect Recurve. But before I unbox the Maxspect Recurve, I do want to read and respond to some of your comments on the last video on my Rico's Nano Tank Challenge. Reef Girl commented, interesting, flow. Very good point. I have no idea how to get flow in there. That's why I only have invertebrates that have a little less oxygen requirement. I have the sexy shrimp in there. I'm thinking about some other sorts of corals that would get motion for this tank. But flow, I haven't figured out how to beam flow into the tank. So if anyone has ideas, leave a comment below on this video. Jororo Mouse says, you are on fire. Go big or go home. We'll get to that in just a second. Reef Guy likes the look of the floating tank. Can't wait to see it in a couple months. And me too. I just hope I can keep up with it. Turkey baster water changes every day for a couple months. We got this. Finally, a Recurve review. Awesome idea for the Pico. That's right, we're here, the Recurve review. John Beltran can't wait for the Sunday piece. Well, it's here, 5 seconds away. Dan Fleming, SPS Mini Reef. And that would be cool. Maybe, it's gonna be difficult to keep SPS alive in that thing. And then we have a couple comments from Passionate Reef and Yuyi Boy on how to increase the water volume of that tank. I think the potential concept would be to kind of hold it on its side like that. I think that's already like tripled the water volume. So it'll look interesting. It won't be as clean and neat as it is when it's hung from that, but I'll find a way to make it happen. This light is innovative beyond belief. It has clusters of LEDs in the center and then strips of LEDs on either side to simulate the effects of an LED T5 hybrid. As I mentioned in the previous video, this light is huge. Look at it compared to my innovative Marine Nouveau Fusion setup. This light is insane. Now what I like a lot about this is there's very few LED lights out there that have such large fixtures. And when I want something that looks very clean without a hood in my tank, my tank's a piece of artwork. I want it to look gorgeous. A single fixture, I think, is the way to go. I'm tired of waiting. Let's unbox this thing. Ta-da! Great, so the first thing we got are some power cables. Always a good thing to have. Next thing you see is the manual, and this comes with a very substantial manual. I'll probably need that because I have a feeling the control system may be complicated. And the next thing, caution, okay. So it looks like we have the power supply. So this is the power supply. Very cool, it has like a nice grid on this side. It has some fans. I don't know, I've never seen a power supply like this before. It's very interesting. There are 3 rubber feet. I feel like there should be 4 rubber feet. Oh, okay. Here's my 4th rubber foot. That's good. It's always good to have those. But it looks like maybe you have the option of using the rubber feet or maybe mounting it on something. But so far it's pretty interesting. I've never seen a power supply like this, like a miniature computer or something. Here it is. It's what I've been waiting for. Look at this light. There are 4 LED clusters, which is interesting because I think the side of the box, the side of the box only shows a light with 3, and also the videos, the pictures of the things I've seen on bulk resupply have only shown 3 LED clusters. So very good. 1, 2, 3, 4 whole LED clusters. And then there's also the side lights. This is looking amazing. Sorry I had to be so zoomed out, but there is just a ton of light here. It's hard to get a very close view, but I'll get a lot of shots later. All right, so now we have all the goods laid out. And my initial impressions are it looks really good. It looks really good. It's shipped with the legs attached, so I don't have to worry about that. It looks like there's a little rubber nub there that's supposed to seal something, and that's missing in this light, so I'm not sure what that's about. So here's the light up close. Here's the little part that I think is missing. There's like a rubber nub there. I think that's to seal it, so I might have to find that piece. I'm a little bit worried about water getting in. You know, there's a little bit of dirt or something on here, but that just wipes off, so it doesn't bother me. So let's zoom in real close. So first impressions of it, these heat sinks are really cool, and they also make a really cool noise. Those extruded heat sinks are very awesome. Overall, I think it's so cool that it comes with like mounting brackets, and supposedly these will work for my tank, so that's pretty cool. Looks like on the side here there's a plug-in for power. I'm gonna pop these off so I can flip the light over. First thing I noticed that looks like almost like there was a mistake is these fans are kind of off-centered, but I realized that's just part of the design for how they kind of capture and force flow into the system. Really impressive. I feel like the engineers who designed this light just have a lot of fun time every day. They're just trying to be as creative as possible. And then it has their little controller. I have the controller on the gyre pump, and their interface is somewhat difficult to get used to, so we'll have to see how it is on this light. And then on the front side of it, it looks like there's a place for an SD card, so you can update your software. Look at those wings. They say it looks like a spaceship. I think it does. So I'm going to show you how to extend the wings. From what it looks like, there's not any special way to do it. You just kind of push. So you just pull them up, and there's some resistance, and they extend. So now the light is fully extended. What would be nice if there were kind of like notches, I feel, because people that are really anal retentive will probably have a hard time lining them up with each other. They might just either have them all the way up or all the way down. It'd be weird if one was higher or lower than the other. Very cool, very wide. I really like this heat sink part here to passively cool these LED strips. I think this active cooling of this light panel is necessary and is very awesome as well. I've never seen a light look so cool. I like these, like, I don't know if you call this a gunmetal or a titanium finish. Looks awesome. I'm gonna pull out my AP700 just so you can see the difference in size. So for those of you who buy your corded LED lights like you buy your food, you shop at Chipotle for lunch rather than Panera because you really believe it's about volume and mass, I definitely do think that you get more volume and mass with this light. Definitely just more angles from which to put light. This light's 30% less, this light's 50% more expensive. Depends on how you slice it, but really you need two of these, plus maybe some other stuff to get the same coverage. Now these lights, these LEDs, I do believe are absolutely the best. I love Kessil, I love the grooving, the dream. Honestly, I wish I had these diodes inside this fixture, but it does give you some perspective. It's just a completely different setup. So we've got these nice thumb screws, very nice. I'm glad that I don't have to adjust any types of bolts or anything. I have adjusted these as wide as they'll go. That's the assumption of what they'll need for my tank. So I'm just going to make sure these things are tight, and then I'm going to snap these little keepers back on. Let's put them on the tank. Sorry about the tank, it looks a little disgusting. When I put those Tide Pods, fish food shaped Tide Pods in the aquarium, there was a lot more food in them than I estimated. The tank got really dirty, and now I'm having an algae bloom, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of cleaning, a lot of skimming, and all sorts of things to get those nitrates down. But for now, let's see if this light will actually fit. I'm a little bit worried. You should probably do this with a few people. And okay, there's no way that this light will actually hang on this tank. Right now, with everything fully extended, the feet are probably only good for a 4-foot tank. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, but this is not gonna work. I'm gonna have to buy the hanging kit. So my tank is 63 inches from front to back, and and this extends to 50. So this will work for a 50-inch tank. It will not work for a 60-inch tank. So now it has been 1 week with the Maxspect Recurve on my tank. Now you saw that this light obviously doesn't fit. When I was looking at the specifications online, it said great for tanks up to 60 inches. So I thought that meant that the legs would actually fit a tank that is 60 inches across. That is not the case. The maximum tank size that these legs work for is a 50-inch tank. Now I really wanted to get this video out to you, so I called Bulk Reef Supply to try to find out what's the hanging kit that goes with this light. And it turns out Maxspect has not released the hanging kit for their Recurve light yet. They launched the light, but they don't have all the parts for it. I called Maxspect themselves to see if there was a different type of hanging kit that would work, and the answer I pretty much got was we need to wait. So this is a little bit of a rushed launch. However, we're not going to let that take away from the review and the excitement of the light. Let's get a little more in depth into my experiences so far. So basically, when you plug in the light blazes on at 100%. It's exceptionally bright, and it's 100% on all channels. I don't think you would ever run it at that level, but there are a number of presets. So for acclimation, I'm doing their LPS preset. And this preset basically has a max of 72% on a lot of the channels, and then a max of 56% on some of the other channels. Overall, my tank is really, really cloudy, so I guess it gives you an idea of what the distribution of the light looks like. I just kicked up a lot of debris. I was trying to clean it out, and there may be some of those other issues I've been having some tanks, so don't mind that, but let's focus on the light. So overall, the presets are by far the easiest way to program the light. There's basically, you select one of the 4 and you go, you're done. You can do the manual modes, and it takes a decent amount of time to program into here, but you don't have to buy an external controller. You can actually program it in here. I want to talk a little bit about the channels, so I'm going to hold this down 3 seconds to go back to manual mode. So now we're in manual mode. There are a total of 6 channels. They're labeled A, B, C, D, E, F. Now we're going to do the A channel. The A channel is basically the blues. So this is 0 to 100% on the A. These are blues. The A channel is the blues just for the center of the light. So 100%, ramping down to 50%, and 0. 100%, 0. Now this is the B channel, this is the whites, and this is for the center clusters of LED as well. It appears that there's kind of like a warm white and a regular light in this mix. And of course by itself, it looks absolutely disgusting, but it's the mix that matters. So that's 100%, and that's off. 100%, ramping down to 50%, and then this 50%, now we're going to all the way off, back to 100. All right, the C channel. This channel is red. I'm really surprised that out of 6 channels, they dedicated 1 whole channel to red. And this red is only on the side lights, on the strip lights, on the LED. So that's 100%, 0%. 100%, 0%. Note how many LEDs they dedicated to red. All those strips, so much effort put in to red LEDs. I can't believe it. I'll probably have these off at 0 all the time, maybe a little bit on. I think they try to use them to simulate different colors, but the red wavelength isn't that useful for corals. There's been studies that it could actually hurt. So this is red at 100%. 50%. 1, off. 100%, off. So the D channel is also on the strip light. And the D channel is basically kind of a teal turquoise color. So that's D channel at 100%. It's basically a green. Channel D is the green channel. Yes, they dedicated one of the 6 channels to green. This is at 100%. Now it is 50%. And this is off. Now the E channel is also kind of green. It's aquamarine. I'll go to that. There's 100% off on kind of like a turquoise. Sorry if it's not picking up well on the camera, but it's green again. That was 100. This is 50%. And this is off. 100 off. And the last channel is F. F is kind of like a violet channel. It's kind of a very deep blue color. It might not show up very well on here, but the F channel is deep blue on the side lights. I'll probably be running that at 100% all the time. And that's at 100%. That's at 50%. That's off, back to 100. And so it looks like there's a red channel, which I really don't want. And then there's practically 2 green channels, which I also don't care about. So out of 6 channels, 3 channels are colors that I don't really necessarily need in my reef tank. I think there's a lot of missed opportunity on these side lights because all these green LEDs from both sets are also on the side LEDs. So I got the par meter in there, and when you actually have all of the LED lights, this is the strip lights alone, so 4 channels at 100%. It gives the tank kind of a little green hue, and you get a par of about 25. So you're getting 25 par of supplemental light. My joint T5s using 4 T5s at 48 inches, that was giving me about 40 par. Now note the tank is a little bit more cloudy right now, so I would say it's a little bit less than T5s, but I'm never gonna run it with these reds at 100% or with these greens nearly as high. So I hope you enjoyed that look at the different spectrums of the light. One thing that I do want to note is really the top 20% of the output on these lights is really probably from 55 to 100% of their par output. For example, their LPS mode at 72% on the higher ones and kind of 54 on the other 3 channels. That mode produces about 70 par in this tank. Now if I go to their SPS preset, that's about 90% on the upper ones and 70% on a couple of the other channels. And that brings it all the way up to 174 par. Now if this tank was not as cloudy and you cranked it up to maybe 100%, you'd get even more par. So this has more than enough light to even supply the most demanding SPS tanks. Overall, I just am not sure why they dedicated so many channels to LEDs that I don't really care about, so the green and the red. I think what they're trying to attempt to do is something that's pleasing to human eyes rather than coral eyes. If you have RGB, theoretically, you can make almost any color combination that you want. And I think that's what they were going for, but honestly, I would prefer if this light, they took out all of those 40-some red LEDs and replaced them with white. That would give a lot more par on the side wings. So I would say each strip light is probably about 1 T5 bulb. So it's as if this tank is supplemented with 4 LED fixtures with 1 T5 bulb on either side. And it does kind of have that form factor. Overall, I've never seen a more gorgeous light. It's absolutely amazing. The color in the tank, the color rendition, it's really hard for me to judge well because my tank still has this kind of cloudy look. But when it's on some of the presets, you can see a little bit of this kind of weird violet reddish hue on some of the fish because those red lights are on. Eventually I'm going to program it myself with my own setting that's going to have those reds completely eliminated, and I'm going to have to crank up some of the other channels quite a bit. Thank you very much for watching this video. This is my first review. I'll do some more. Also, if you have any questions, please leave comments down below. Overall, I like the light. I like how it looks. I'm a little bit disappointed with the amount of channels dedicated to those particular colors, but overall it's pretty good. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Just like to note that Jace Imps and Amphit Elite Reefer won the Tide Pod challenge video drawing, so please send me a PM and I will get those mailed out to you shortly. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll catch you later, and happy reefing. And you did right from the start. Hey, little guy.